streaming boom has flattened. I'm not saying it has reduced. I'm not saying it's dropping. I'm saying it has plateaued. What does this mean? Oh, I have 1 million TikTok videos on TikTok, but I have 2,000 streams on Spotify. The mass is not massing or massing, right? So it means that there is visibility. 1 million people are dancing to the song on TikTok, or singing to the song on TikTok, or doing CapCut templates to the song on TikTok, as likely inspired by your $100,000 influencer marketing budget. But only 5,000 people are making the effort to go listen to the song. So that is showing us that what visibility is not equals to fandom. These people don't really care about you, but they like the song enough to dance to it, not necessarily to listen to it full length, and that is a problem. Because what counts, we can move to the next slide, because what counts as a stream sale today is complete listening. So if everybody is spending 10 seconds, which is your TikTok timestamp, or 15 seconds, from your TikTok timestamp, and they move on, it means nobody is really interested in the music that you've put out, and that is a problem because you are not building a lasting community. You are not building real fans, so to say. So now, this slide actually just shows us that without real fans, artists become algorithm dependent. What does this mean? What is algorithm in the sense within the music space? For example, people know Spotify playlists. Every artist wants to wake up on Friday and ask, what are the covers I got? What cover of playlist did I land? Am I on Spotify, African Hits? Am I on? Nobody wants to, let me not make an absolute statement. Most people do not want to make the real effort to actually get people to stream. They want the algorithm to let people stream, which is what Spotify editorial playlist, Apple Music, covers, all of that. As much as that is great, it is lazy. You cannot sleep and wake up and hope that the music tech company that distributes your music will decide to favor you. I mean, how, what are you, the artist, what are you doing about your own music? And we see the difference, right? We see that artists with communities achieve touring power. I mean, I have been privileged to attend a few live concerts or live tours and all the likes, and I've seen Davido have 20,000 people sing back to him. And I think a lot of African artists don't understand the star power that is. To have 20,000 people with UK accents, sorry to say, Nigerian accents, people from everywhere and anywhere, white, black, brown, fill up a 20,000 capacity space. I could not see Davido. I mean, I made a lot of videos that day. I could not find him in the crowd. People were singing back at him, and this was before he put out the reason why, because now he has more reasons for people to want to attend a Davido tour, right? Which he's leveraging on. We'll see that later on. But the point is, people who are building communities, one, can leverage what? Touring power, Davido, Burna Boy, Amsterdam, Munich, Germany. Like, all these artists are going to all these places, filling up slots, right? And it's not because they slept and woke up and Spotify gave them playlist cover. There was a time when Burna Boy was really hustling. Burna Boy sang was Besse or something. And I think he even did the dance in the video. Please, that's the proof that he was hustling. He jumped and did the Besse dance in that video. He was hustling, and that shows that a lot of artists are forgetting that there's a journey, and they're just looking at the person that is now telling people to leave the tour. He has earned the right to tell somebody who is sleeping after he has sang back to back in the studio, to leave his freaking tour, if is his, what we call it, the stadium or whatnot, because he has earned that right. And if you haven't, please don't try it. If you have not earned the right to tell someone to leave, do not, because there's a lot of hard work that goes into that statement. A lot of people forget that. Secondly, with brand partnerships, I mean, this is obvious. Like, if you don't have a community, no brand wants you. So this is even the success that comes outside of or off the back of actually building your community, which is what? Brand partnerships. And examples of fantastic, great brand partnerships, let me look, I don't want to say Burna Boy again, but I would even say Two-Face Idibia, which is very interesting. We saw Two-Face Idibia all over Oraimo, at some point. I don't know if you remember that. And it's not like Two-Face was actively dropping hits back to back. No, he has a community, right, that he has not, that have probably just never grown up. We do not want to let Two-Face go. We remember You Are My African Queen. We've remembered it through years, and we don't want him to go. And that is a community, right? So to say that he has nurtured, and that landed him in Oraimo, for example. And other, fantastic ones. Ira Star got like the Barbie doll, Bratz doll type of partnerships. There are some very unique. Tyler got Gap partnership. And if you see the treasure was falling from our waist, it's showing that skinny girls can, there are a lot of tones there that we can read, and we see that there is a reason, why brand partnerships brands are attracted to such artists. Third would be catalog longevity, and then global scalability. So when we say catalog longevity, right, something interesting we found out at ONRPM recently was while we were looking at our Snapchat top 10 performing tracks, we saw that number 3, Love My Baby by Wizkid, was performing well. I don't know if you know that song. I love my baby, that song is 14 years old, maybe. But it's the third, most used sound on Snapchat in post 14 years. That's what we call catalog longevity. That is, after 14 years, the music you've put out as at, whenever, still has some kind of pull today. Scales Shake Body was released in 2015, and 10 years after, we still see that, or we've seen that Lamine Yamal, posted something on TikTok, and then boom, it went viral. So again, it just shows that when you commit to building your community, what happens? You will reap, in quotes, the return. And of course, global scalability. We can move to the next slide. Global scalability means, we know that Ira Star, for example, was singing, for us. Or let me use Thames, for example. Thames, we can move to the next slide. Thames, for example, was singing. I don't even know if she was singing for us, actually, from the very beginning. I think Thames always sang for other people and asked us to listen if we wanted. But she just knew, and now we've seen her scale globally, right? We can see people, like artists chasing for her. We can move to the next slide, please. We can see artists, international artists chasing for her, listening to her voice. They just want the Thames spice, if that makes sense, in their music. And I think that is, super fantastic. Has anyone seen, apart from the examples I've given, any other artist that comes to mind in terms of has built a community, someone that you look at and you like or you fancy? I don't mind. Is there anybody that would like to say anything? Why? 3 women said that they couldn't go at the same time. He's married with 1 child. Do you care to come soon? It will be, but yes. What? Please, I beg. But yeah, AG Baby is a very strong example. AG Baby started singing, giving us Oriki music in the beginning. Was giving us Evamiki Orient. Everybody, we loved it, but he discovered something. Not to say that the audience for that is not great, but it's to say that he discovered that maybe I need to add someone to this so that I can scale. And he did that. Oh, he really did that. He moved from wearing, what's that? I almost said Danshiki. No, Danshiki, sorry. Adire. Wow, guys, we're very informed. You move from wearing Adire to shirtless with 10 ab packs. What's the problem? Okay, sorry. He's married with 1 child. Just reminding myself and us too. But yeah, basically just letting us know that, 1, branding changes the game. He rebranded. He did not think, won't it be too abrupt? Who cares? He just took us to where he wanted to go. And now people have met him. We've met him there, from his sound. And I think something interesting is that he hasn't even forgotten what he sound like. He hasn't left the, origin of what he sounded like. Because the song going viral today, many people, it still has the element of who AG started as. But he has placed it now on like a much, bigger scale, So, and I think that is very important today for an artist. I'll quickly go through this. Today's goal, I'll have to tell you, is that we want to shift you from chasing streams, or as an artist or an artist manager, so to say, to building tribes, because today, streams are numbers, but tribes are like actual human connections that will sustain like the stream cycle of your, product being your music. ONRPM, we are a forward-thinking modern music company. We handle music distribution, we handle rights management, we handle label services, we handle marketing and music analytics, publishing, and so much more. And interestingly, there are about 600 plus professionals globally who work for ONRPM. I'm one of them. Kem is one of them. We have Didi Chidima, the GM of Nigeria, is one of them. We have Tyrone, the senior A&R for Nigeria, is one of them. We have Chibike, the lead graphic person for Africa, is one of them, and we're all here. And we're about 600 plus globally, and we have about 43 plus offices worldwide. And we are in Nigeria, we're in Nairobi, we're in Cape Town. Yeah, we're in Kampala, Uganda. We're in quite some key locations in Africa, and that's something to show. We're like the fifth top, for YouTube, we're like the top 5 global music partners with YouTube. That is, we handle quite a ton, we manage quite a ton of YouTube accounts that we have like direct deals with YouTube. We're ranked the 5th in the world. Actually, we're also ranked the 5th in the world in terms of top partners with Spotify. That is, with all the many, many people that deal with Spotify directly, ONRPM is actually ranked the 5th in terms of the volume of music that we put out via Spotify and, dealings and interactions with Spotify. So lastly, we have 50 plus Grammy winners and about 100 plus Grammy nominations. And I think that's something that people, and we are, I think something our founder likes to say, we are self-funded. we own ourselves, Nobody owns us. And I think that's very, very crucial to music business today. So we're not leaving the market anytime soon. No shade to any company in particular. Those who know what I'm saying. Okay, so the new reality, I've moved on to the next slide. The new reality today, as I said earlier, is that, actually globally, I'm sure this data might not even be correct, but 120,000 plus tracks are uploaded daily. That's people want to blow. Right? That's AKA people just want to, become stars. 120,000 plus tracks are uploaded globally. The average listener attention span has shrunk. It's now within 8 seconds to 13 seconds, which means if your intro is and it goes for 30 seconds, I don't know if I want to listen to your song. I don't have the attention span for it. If in 8 seconds you've not given me, I don't know, I need to sing a song that is ours. Kilometer, then you continue playing. The point is, nobody has time again, or we have less time, more like. So it's like 8 seconds to 13 seconds in terms of the attention span. There are people called passive listeners. I think I'm one of them for many artists, but yeah. Passive listener is someone, when I open my Spotify, you pop up, let me just listen. Not bad, I'll just leave it. I didn't go to look for you. You came to me and I thought you were nice enough to keep you. I've listened, yes, but I am not committed to you. I'm probably at the bottom of, those who, I don't necessarily care about you. And, I don't think that is the listener any artist today should be aspiring to, build. Also, fandom is reducing. I don't know if the 3 fandoms in Nigeria that are strong, Wizkid FC, 30BG Gang, but basically fandom is shrinking. Like, the oldest, toughest, thickest fandom is Wizkid FC and 30BG. And those are people who grew up with them in primary school, maybe secondary school, and are now adults and don't want to grow up. They are still fighting on Twitter. But like, the point is, like, the fandom is shrinking, but noise is increasing. Everybody, this artist is better than this artist. Okay, are you a fan? When did he release music? I know the one he released 4 years ago. You're not a fan. People are making noise, but nobody is actually a fan. Nobody is like committed, ride or die, I will die here. Like, Davido has blown at least 1 to 2 artists off his existing fandom. Like, he moves the 30BG people to go and like another new artist. It takes them, go and like this new, that is the true test of like a fandom, so to say. And I don't think we see the Queen Bee, Beehive, like if you say Beyonce's skirt was too short, they will finish you in the comment section. If you say Nicki Minaj something, they should take Nicki Minaj's phone. What's their name? Barbie something. Barbs. They will, like, fandoms are proof of, to be fair, like, of stream strength at some point. Stream strength, tour strength, like, merch strength. When Nicki Minaj sneezes, they post it. Like, that's just proof, you know, and that's something I believe that is really shrinking in our community as Africa. Also, we noticed something. Artists, this just points that artists must build relationships, not audiences, right? And one person I'll use an example is Cardi B. Cardi B came into the market and said, hey, I used to be a stripper because I had to use it to take care of my family. Everybody said, oh. Then she did music. Oh, she's great. And you know she used to be a stripper. But now she's not doing music. Now she's not successful. But she's next thing she won Grammy. You know she's not a Grammy winner. She used to be a stripper. But the point is, we feel like we knew our story. We were involved. She did not hide it. She even included it in the video, in everything. The point being, like, she built relationships with her fans. And today, sadly, she has like 3 kids from like 2 different people. But like, we all know the information. It's still a form of marketing, whether you like it or not. She's letting you know the nitty and gritty of her life. And to an extent, people just feel connected. And I think that's something artists today need to like work on. Not saying that give every part of yourself, obviously. Like, if you can, people will collect it. But if you can't, determine what you can't give or what you can compromise on, and what you can give, and then give it. Like, there's a time, before we move on, we can move on to the next slide, actually, please. Thames did not show us our bum for a long time. That's very wrong to say. No, but because all these things are very, you think they are funny, but they are very intentional. Thames protected our bum from us for a very long time, and then she revealed it on her 30th birthday. What birthday? On her 30th birthday, we just saw Thames on a yacht, in a tongue, on a something. Hey, Thames, she turned back, showed us. What did she want? Thames wants to build a relationship with you. Period. But anyway, it's also just speaking to how she's aware of what people are saying about her, about her body, and she's tapping into it, or she has tapped. I don't think she's even showing the bum every day now. Can you imagine? After giving us a glimpse. Now hit it, moving forward. But the point is, like, she let us know that, hey, I know what you're saying, and this is me teasing you, but like, it is a relationship, trust me. Okay, so we are going to move to, defining the modern fan funnel. Today, how do people discover me? Like, how does a fan come to be? First, let's just call it the 5 momentum drivers would be discovery, consideration. Discovery means, this artist is not bad. I like the sound of this guy. They go to his Instagram. Then you now say, he has pink clips. Actually, those are things that female fans look at. Okay, you be. Tell me why there are many people following Ruga on Instagram. But like, consideration. I like the way. He posted his mother yesterday. Wow, he's a great. This is how fans think. Okay, people be thinking I'm sure that's how you think. You're just shy. Consideration. You've gone on Instagram. He posted his mom. Or, he was he traveled to 5 locations. Something makes you start considering, I actually like this guy, or, okay, lady. Let me not just use guys. Lady. Then engagement. Then he now posts let me just see. Then Tyler now posts, it will not me, put me in say you love me, then she now puts a question in a caption. Should I drop it? Then everybody says, yes, no, engagement. You're ready. So now I've discovered this artist. I've considered this artist. Now I'm engaging with the artist. The artist has asked me, Tyler asked me if she should drop this song. I must make a difference. I must help Tyler drop this song. But that's engagement, right? Then I comment and say, yes, Tyler, this is the best song you've recorded in 100 years. And Tyler likes my comment. I mean, I'll be a Tyler fan till the end of time. But that's what engagement is, right? Especially with like fans, people becoming fans, so to say. Then next is conversion. Then Tyler now says, okay, you said I should drop put me in Chanel. Go and pre-save it. Then you're like, oh yes, I said you should drop it. Where is the pre-save link? She tells you where pre-save link is. You tap on it and you have pre-saved. My dear, you have converted. You are now you are in the conversion aspect of being a fan, right? Sorry, tap for a bit. You're now a converted artist, converted fan. You know, the conversion stage has occurred with you, so to say. Then next will now be community retention. For example, sorry, the slide seems to be moving. The last part, I think we need to go up, which is community retention. So after you've converted, the next is community retention. How? You are now the fan that it's been 3 months since she put out Put Me in Chanel, but you two, you are still being put in Chanel. You are still engaged with that song. You know, that means, you know, for example, I'll use Tyler's strategy, for example, as one. She would premiere a song at a performance. Like she premiered Is It, one of her songs at the Victoria. Oh, the slide seems to be moving. Technical. Yeah. For example, Tyler premiered her track, or premieres most of her tracks at live performances. She premiered Is It, I think, or Push to Start, rather. But, I mean, as I was saying, in community retention, I was just speaking to how the strategy Tyler deploys, like to put out music, right? At events, what she would do is she would premiere a new song at an event where she's performing her last successful song. To convert those who liked the last song to start liking the new song. It is not a coincidence. It is she's relying on the retention, like our community, the fact that she has engaged them long enough on the last track, you know, to get them to begin to like the next track, and that's community retention. Lastly will be the 5 fan archetypes. First is unknown. If you remember, that ties back with discovery. Unknown means I don't really know you. I'm just a regular person. I don't really know you. 1 second. Or care for you just yet. Yes, we're on the right slide. Now, next is casual. So we can see it on the funnel here. The 5 fan archetypes. We have unknown, we have casual, we have active, loyal, and then super fan. Please, every artist needs to aspire for a super fan. A super fan will make other fans. You know, and that's just that's the easiest way to build a community. For someone to like you so much to tell another person to like you, you've won as an artist, you know, if you get like a group of people who are like that. So we can move to the next slide, which says what makes a real fan, right? We've said this. Now, what does a real fan do? A real fan pays attention without being reminded. 2, a real fan streams actively. That means I wake up in the morning, I'm listening. Yeah, we're fine. This is the right slide. So a real fan streams what? Actively, not passively. A real fan shares music. Oh, have you heard this new song by Zlatan? Have you heard this new song by Bella? That is that is a real fan. Doesn't hoard. All those, I don't know, I heard like there are fans who hoard their artist music. God forbid. Who are you? I mean, thank you, but no. Don't hoard my music. Like, I make money when others hear me. And I think that's why a real fan understands this. A real fan knows that my favorite artist is not going to make money if I am the only one listening to my artist. You know, they share the music. Next will be they show up online and offline. Online, they are in the comment section. Oh my God, this song is the best. This skirt is very short. Arasta, no. You know, it's a joke, but that is them engaging with their celebrity, their artist. And offline, Arasta does a party, they are there. Arasta says, I'm looking for 10 lucky, they are one of the 10. That's, you know, that shows a super fan. You know, we said that earlier. Buys merch. A super fan defends the artist. I think this one, we all know what this means. Defend the artist. We've seen that with 30BG. We've seen that with Wizkid FC. Wizkid is better than Davido. No, Davido is better than Wizkid. That shows who a real fan is. I was saying that, like, a Davido, for example, might bring a form and say, oh, fill this form to attend the next Davido listening or Davido party. And it might be way too many information. What's your name? The street you were born. Your mother's middle name. They will fill it in. And they will still want to attend or go to what Davido is calling them for. That just shows that this person is a super fan. Now, this person stays through. I think this is very important, actually. I don't know if there are artists here or artist managers here, but if there are, a super fan stays through bad releases. The song, I've seen Wizkid FC say, and that Wizkid song was not sweet, but yes, they stay through bad releases. And this means that invariably there is no bad release, because bad will now be maybe taste or preference, but not necessarily reflected in streams. Because if you have 1 million super fans who are ready to still stream a track, whether or not it was accepted globally, it means that your streams will not do poorly, if you get what I mean. So that's something to look at. So next slide, we'll just look at a case study quickly, but I think that we've already talked on that earlier on, and the case study is Davido and Cardi B, right? Davido, and this is a question to the audience so that nobody dozes off on me. Why is Davido touring in Nigeria? I mean, this is me even asking. Why is Davido touring in Nigeria? Davido has finished maybe the US. He has toured pretty much a large part of the world. But why is he touring in Nigeria? Why is he in Adamawa? Who is streaming him in Adamawa? To keep close to his core fans, right? If Davido still needs his core fans, my dear new artist, you need your neighbor needs to know your music. Their dog. What do you mean? It's not one dog that was singing, ooh, ooh. Make it happen with that puppy. People need to know your music. Like, if Davido is, what is happening in Adamawa? I mean, nothing to say. Not like, obviously not, but like, it's not known as the hub. It's not known as the place where the parties are going. Davido is having inquirer. What is going on? Davido is showing, I think, the new artists. And I mean, something strategic there is that Davido now even has a label. So he's packing all his label artists to all this Kwara State, Adamawa, and all those people will show up and then funnel down to Morave, who is Davido's artist, funnel down to Olori, Logos Olori, who is his artist. Funnel, it is strategic. He is building he's strengthening his community, and he is helping other artists or his younger artists build their own communities. So, like, I don't know, for that artist that does not have a Davido, I'm lost why you are an Instagram curator. All your posts, they look like you're a travel blogger. I'm not sure if you know the business you are into. The business you are into is you are hawking music. Come and buy my EP is what you are doing. You just don't know it, right? And God bless you, you have collected advance. You have borrowed more. Let me even break it down. You have collected a loan. That advance is a loan. You've collected a loan to spend ahead of the time that you will now make the money from the music. So the music now must make the money, if you get what I mean. So it is very important, right, that, we look at the examples that we have. That's Davido. Now next, I know I've mentioned Cardi B before. Cardi B is the second person on the case study that I'm going to mention. Cardi B rolled out an album recently, and I have to say, like, Cardi B was signing everything and anything. Cardi B was showing us when her stomach grew by 1 centimeter with her pregnancy during the album. Cardi B let us know when she gave birth. She let us know that the person that is responsible for the pregnancy is not of, information we did not ask for, but we received. It's why she is strengthening, building the community. And I think artists today need to learn that. Let's move to the next slide. So now we're going to look beyond the streams. We've talked about the fans and everything, so we're going to look at beyond the streams, what happens beyond the streams. Please, let's move to the next slide. So we're going to talk about 4 core pillars, right? 4 core pillars that help you look beyond the streams as an artist. The first is branding, or brand, your brand, your identity, and your consistency. Your identity and your consistency as an artist. Secondly would be community. We've said this. It has to be a two-way connection, right? I mean, there's a reason why God says man and woman, not say men and women. One is a 1-2 communication. You sort of have to reach to. You have to make someone feel like, oh my, this artist likes me. Like, it has to be a one-on-one connection. Secondly will be content. Stories, not posts. He posts, stream now. New music out now. Touring Adamawa now. In London now. No, those are posts. You are not telling anybody a story, or when you make a post and you say, oh my God, I've always, all this, see, I'm not casting any artists, but I'm just telling you, like, they are very intentional. When someone posts, oh my God, this is the first time I've always dreamt of going to Japan. Now my music has carried me to Japan and now I can. But yes, it's a story. They want you to feel connected. And it could actually even be true. They want you to feel connected, and that's very important, right? So don't just share posts, share stories. Last will be commercialization, which is the crust of everything, right? Because if you do everything and you're not making money, it's going to be hard to continue doing it, right? You need the money. But commercialization means monetizing without killing trust, which is similar to what I said. Stream now. Go and like my album now. No, I feel used as a fan. It's like, what's the problem? Is it only you that is releasing music? There's got to be a way you can tell me to do what you want me to do. Trust me. What do you mean? Let me feel like you need me. And that's the point. Like, you have to convert people while, keeping the trust. So we can move to the next slide. Artist brand positioning. Things to never do. The first would be no clear narrative. I don't know, I've seen quite some artists post something with no caption. And what are we supposed to do? I mean, what were we supposed? Okay, well, we're just supposed to like the post, I guess. You're not. Again, there has to be a clear word narrative. Things to not do. No clear narrative. Sound is inconsistent. Today you sound like. Today you're singing a ballad. Tomorrow, which is fine. You're showing us you have dexterity and range. But at some point, the range, it needs to be within a range. Even the range, right? So your sound, sound cannot be inconsistent. Visual identity. Yesterday you were on Bone Street. Today you are bowed. Next tomorrow you are ready. Auntie, please, which look should we remember? Branding, your look should be consistent. Have you noticed that's why you see an Ira Star will carry pixie cut for a long time? That I think I saw one comment where someone said, Auntie, change what? We miss your other hair. She's trying to establish a look, and it's very intentional. See Thames always in like half weaved, half bohemian hairs, very intentional. You see Tyler in braids one time. Tyler though, well, Tyler in braids one time or in coily hair the next day. But there's still a range, as I said, a range within the range. And then your brand is not aligned with your audience segments. So this is very funny, but imagine if, let me see, we have an interesting artist signed to with us at ONRPM. Is a veteran. His name is Sir Bright Chimezie. He's literally his track is the song that was sampled on With You, Davido and Omale. And working with him has been quite enlightening. Shout out to Didi, our GM, for that. But imagine if Sir Bright Chimezie, there has to be a very interesting, was wearing, it might not be bad, but I'm just trying to make an example. But imagine if Sir Bright Chimezie was wearing like tight vests and skinny jeans. Then now it's like tattoo on his hand like Victoni. And it's not like with weed. And it's like, the reason why. You have to create, your brand has to align with your audience. He has an audience. And you see him doing the Igbo dance, shaking his hand, wearing the cap, he knows what or who his audiences are, and he's tapping into them. So now, what are the right things to do? First thing would be to niche down. It might not be the first thing you do, right? Because there are people who don't know their niche till they get started. But when you do know your niche down. Like, don't spread your tentacles. No, 1% of 1 million is better than, what was that thing? There's that other thing, 1% of 0 or something. Like, you need to know who you're speaking to. Asha, for example, knows who she's singing to. Cavemen, they know who they are singing to or singing for. Davido knows Wizkid knows who he's singing to and for, and it's very important to do that. Next is to create a storyline fans can repeat. As I said, I used Cardi B. Cardi B used to be a stripper. Now Cardi B is not singing. Now Cardi B is not successful. Cardi B is not a Grammy winner. Easy. She has created a how I started grass to grace story. How I started, where I am, where I'm headed. As an artist or as an artist manager, label manager, whoever you are, those are things to bear in mind. Develop a recognizable aesthetic. Don't let people be confused about who this is, what brand this is. We know what Ira Star's aesthetic is. We know what Tiwa Savage's aesthetic is. We know, like, again, it revolves around branding. Align the artist world with the fan aspirations. Yes, as a fan, I don't want to necessarily see you enter bus. I want to see you in flight jets. Because those are my aspirations, right? I want the best life, the good life. I'm hustling, but you dare not be hustling. You must have made it so that I can aspire to you. But it's the truth. As fans, those are the things we look out for. Like, we want our who we look out or look at to be people living the lives we want, in quotes, to live. We can move to the next slide. I'll also be calling up Kemi. Kemi is the DIY Plus lead. She'll be taking us on some slides shortly. Brand, now if we look at quickly, brand architecture framework, right? The first is the artist identity. Who is the artist, right? Next will be the music direction. And this is to, I don't know, whoever is in the room that is, a label manager, artist manager, you work in music, you want to work in music, there's a neighbor of yours that just has the great voice, and you feel you can be the manager. This is for you. First thing to look out for, the artist identity. Who is this artist? Who is this artist speaking to? Second will be the musical direction. Is this Fuji? Is this Afrobeats? Is this, what is the music direction? Next will be persona archetype. What is this person a hero? Is this person, oh my God, I will save you? That's maybe like, who fits a hero category persona? Might be, Davido actually fits a hero persona, I think. Yeah. Gives, he does, CSR, he's very loving. Yeah, what's your personality as an artist? Outlaw. Who can give an outlaw? Somebody literally has this as their slogan. Really. And the truth is, we are the ones that can tell, not them. Davido cannot come and tell me he's my hero, Papa. I am the one that must decode, must feel like, oh, this person is my hero. And that's very interesting because you are the one building the perception. I'm the one perceiving your perception, So it's hero, Davido. We gave an example of Davido. Outlaw, Victoni, Burna Boy that's chasing people out of his concerts. That one is an outlaw. That one is not even does not care. Sage. Even me, I don't not really claim who a sage is. But Sage. Sage is like a mystical, like mysterious. I think Wizkid. No. And I'm sure they didn't even start the music industry. I'm going to be a sage. No, they, worked their way up, found, and obviously established the archetype. Lover. Yeah, Chike is a lover boy. Who else is a lover? AG Baby. Johnny Drill is a lover boy. Anyways, Chike, Fola. Fola is a new lover boy. Ex-lover boy. You can see these are personas, right, that these artists have built. Some of them even stumbled upon it. Some a lover boy. Some didn't know, and they stumbled upon it, and it worked out for them. So now, content strategies that build community, right? What are content strategies that build community? The next slide. Content types that would say, advise artists to leverage on would be narrative content. All these, POVs, me, this is my first time in London. The first time I stepped into a recording, those are narrations. You're trying to get people to connect. Second will be fan participation content. We know this one now, where it says, should I drop this song today? People say no, yes, you are engaging. Or people go on Instagram Live, and try to get people to engage. Third will be culture-aligned content. When things happen in the country, NSAS happened, and, artists stepped in, and, were part of that. You can't be detached from what is going on in your surrounding environment. Emotional content, as I said, today's my mom's birthday. I want to get my mom something for the first time, or, stuff like that. Value, Adekunle Gold, for example, being a sickle cell survivor, so to say. He has built a brand around that. He takes care of people. He has an organization. That is value. That's, something sentimental. And not to say it's a strategy, just to say that it forms or is part of who you are or what makes your brand. So very quickly, we can move to the next slide. The 5 golden content categories for artists. And the picture that I have on this slide is very interesting because at ONRPM, we have Plutomania in our portfolio. It's literally it's literally the 3 brothers, the 3 Uzama, what's that? Oshahon brothers. That's Charlie Poppy, Zeredil, and Famous Pluto. Imagine 3 people growing up in the same house to come out and be singing the same songs, and I mean that's pretty inspirational. But you can see 5 golden content categories for these artists. Origin story content. We know where Charlie Poppy came from. We know it's Benin. It can't be anywhere else. We know. By his sound, his tone, it's Benin. It's diction. Then process content, studio, writing, failures, draft. You see Charlie Poppy, all his TikToks are inside the studio. Sadly with weed, but it's the part of his lifestyle. But the point is, it's showing you the process, it's showing you all of that. Thirdly would be lifestyle content, as I said, what fans can relate to. When Charlie Poppy said he takes granola and share. Should please not stress us. Baba, when they drink Gary, how many years ago, it's like granola. But it's fine, he's drinking granola now, and it's good. Happy for him. And shit. What shit? But lifestyle content that people can relate to, right? That's very important. Then personality content. You can see that this is the perfect image for this slide. All of them, they're all characters. Personality content, which was Lao. What before he sang it, was that something we're thinking about? What was Lao? There's something Lao. I mean, but basically, he has created a persona around his music, and he is infecting people with it, and it is working out for him, right? And that's very important. So fan-first content, duets, challenges, shout-outs, reposts are very, very important. And then, of course, we know the craze about short-form content today. Algorithm, next slide, please. Short-form algorithm strategy. Each platform, how many of us have conversation with Spotify, right? We know Spotify. But I guess the next one will be, how many of us know that Spotify has a short-form content part? It's because you work in music. But Spotify has a short-form content part, like TikTok. There's a part on Spotify where you can post short videos that will also, in turn, make people engage more with your music. I think a lot of artists need to use that more. Spotify Canvas, Spotify Clips, very, very important. YouTube, of course, we know that they use short-form content. I mean, because now, how each platform distributes content is very unique, and you need to tap into that. Watch time versus engagement. How many people are watching your content? How many people are engaging? Retention. How many people are staying to watch it to the end? A lot of people don't watch videos to the end. If anybody watches a video to the end, they care about you. That's a flag. That's a green flag that this person likes me, actually. If somebody watches your video to the end, because attention span, as we said, is low. Posting rhythm, A/B testing, content format, test. As an artist, you have to try everything. You are selling a market, though. It's a market you're selling. Identify top performing formats fast, and then, of course, influencer amplification. We can move to the next slide. So positioning. We can just, we're going to talk about community building techniques really quickly, and the next person who's going to speak now will be Kemi. So please, let's welcome Kemi.
Kemi Israel. I am the DIY Plus lead and A&R rep at ONRPM Nigeria. DIY Plus is basically a department that our key goal is to spot talent early on in their careers and work with them, help them build, help them grow to the point where, to the next level, basically. And I'd like to say something at ONRPM that we work with artists at every stage of their career. So at different tiers, whatever you need at any point of your career, we are here for you as ONRPM. That's what we do. And some of the biggest artists that you know today actually started out with ONRPM. Mavo, Ashake, yes, Ashake, Fola, so many people that started out with ONRPM and have now gone on to be global. So ONRPM is probably the only distributor that spots talent from grassroots and develops them to the point where everybody's now excited about them. So please make some noise for ONRPM. Okay, now to the reason we're here, community building techniques. I think now more than ever, it is evident how important community is in the journey of an artist, because you can have a viral moment, you can have one hit song, but what gives you longevity is the strength of your community. And we're just going to dive right into it. So community building techniques, we have high impact activities, consistent two-way conversations. Engage your, sorry, it's a little cold, so I'm shaking a bit, sorry. So engage your fans, engage your followers. I know that a lot of artists like to create this mysterious, larger-than-life personality, but that you can do that when you are at Burna Boy's level. When you are starting, when you're hustling, you have to drop the mystery and engage your talent. Nobody is going to rate you if you're not paying attention to them as well. I've heard people on Twitter say, I should stream your music, I should stream your music. You self, run me something for data to stream your music. Do you get? I mean, obviously, you don't have to buy data for your fans for them to stream your music, but you have to engage them, respond to the tweets, respond to your DMs, engage when people comment and say, I love your music, reply and say thank you. You're not with yet. Fan naming rituals. This is one thing. I know that people, especially we can see that a lot with like BB Niger. The moment the contestants get into the house, the fan bases have already identified themselves and given themselves names. In some cases, they give themselves names. In some cases, you, the artist, or you, the creative, is the one that is going to tell your fans what they want to call, what you would like them to be called. So something unique, something to help your fans identify themselves. You would hear people say, I'm a Malian during the whole, I don't think people say that now anyways, but during the key Naira Marley reign, a lot of people identify as Malians, AG Babies fans. I don't know what they're called, but they're always very keen on showing themselves, like, I'm an AG Baby fan. I get his newsletters, sorry. Access-based rewards, not money-driven. Access-based rewards are basically, giving your fans access to behind the scenes, letting them in on your process. You don't know how important it is for a lot of listeners to be able to get behind the scenes to see how the music that they love so much comes together. I remember when I was younger, I was very curious about recording music. And I followed her to the studio because I wanted to see, how this works. This was when I was like 9 or 10 years old. Followed her to the studio, stayed with the studio with her overnight. My mom used to sing backup for a lot of musicians aside her own music. So I would see her record, do harmonies for different people. And since then I've been just curious about the music making process. And you have no idea how many fans just want to see how this person makes their music. And it doesn't necessarily mean bringing them into your studio, because for emerging artists, you might not have the luxury of being able to host a number of people at your studio. But go on IG Live, engage them. Guys, give me something to make music about. This is how I recorded this song. If you're a producer, okay, let's make a beat together. That's access, And also just sharing. Beyond doing live, you can also share with them on your page. These are the kind of content that you should be posting. That's access. You don't have to overthink it and make it a whole event. Do it, make the best of the resources that you have. Involving fans in decisions. It's part of what we've just said. Ask them, what should I call this song? What would you guys like me to sing about? For a lot of people, for a lot of fans, beyond the music, they identify with an artist because they find things they can relate to with that artist. Whether they can relate to your struggles, they can relate to your journey, they can relate to your persona, or why you are the way you are. You will see people coming on Twitter explaining Burna Boy's bad behaviors all the time. Every single time, there's somebody telling us why, he didn't do anything wrong. That's because they are like that. They are very similar. Do you get? So a lot of people who are your fans will be drawn to your personality as well. So you want to involve them in those decisions as well. Make them feel like they're part of something, like they're building something with you. Micro community strategy is very key. WhatsApp groups, Telegram groups, Instagram. I think a lot of platforms now have the community function. Even Twitter has it. So in every social media that you have a presence, it would make sense for you to also have your community there. That way, when you post something, you send to your community, say, guys, new post up, engage, drop your comments. What do you guys think? That's how you engage them. Fan-owned campaigns. I'm going to use an example of an artist that I work with, that I'm on management for. Sorry, I need to catch my breath. Okay, yeah. Artist by the name Kemwell. You guys might know him. He was recently on Peruzzi's album. Amazing, amazing, amazing artist. And I happen to be on his fan communities as well, because I manage the artist, so I have to be involved. And I see them come online and say, you guys, this week our goal is to get this song up to 100K streams. And you see everybody playing and sending screenshots to the group saying, I've done my quota for today. They'll come back tomorrow, they will do their quota again, come back next tomorrow. They set targets, they set goals, and week in, week out, we meet those targets. I see it every week, and I'm so proud, because these are things that they decide amongst themselves that they want to do. Kemwell does not need to come to the group and say, oh, you guys, please help me stream my music. Let Kemwell whisper on somebody's song. They are there. So, I mean, there's not a lot of them now, so it doesn't seem to the public like, oh, he has such a huge community. But that community is going to grow. And the more people who are that involved in saying, you know, whatever Kemwell is on, whatever Wonder is on, I'm there. They're going to market. They're the ones who will sell his sound to other people who will now also become super fans. That's the strength of community. And yeah, that's fan-owned campaigns. Can we go to the next slide, please? How to turn followers into community. This is very key, because you see a lot of artists. I always tell people, when you check an artist and you see 500,000 monthly listeners, those are not their fans. Your monthly listeners are the people who are listening to you at the moment. You know, you can have, and that listenership can come off one song. I've seen situations where an artist blows up. I wouldn't name names. But I've seen situations where an artist blows up. They have a huge song, maybe one of the biggest songs that dropped that year. But check the rest of the catalog. The growth does not reflect on the rest of the music. The songs that they released last year, in fact, the song they released a month before they released that hit song is still crawling to get to 10K stream. But they have that one song that has almost reached 1 million. So now they have 500,000 monthly listeners in their page, and they think they've blown. No, because those fans, they're just listening to one song. They like that one song. Do they like you as the artist? Do they like the rest of your catalog? That's what a community is. Marvo blew up this year with Escaladizi. The growth of his catalog since Escaladizi blew up has been exponential. His catalog averages like 10 million streams monthly now. I say this because the catalog is present with ONRPM. Hallelujah. Yeah. His catalog averages about 10 million streams monthly now. That is because there's an existing community that carried that catalog and made sure that the new fans who heard Escaladizi and Shakabulizi and all the Easies that come right after that would also discover his previous stuff, his previous projects. And he also, there's this thing they say about success is when preparation meets opportunity. Imagine if he didn't have any catalog and he just had Escaladizi and he blew up. Okay, so now this boy has blown up with this new song. They check his page, there's nothing else to discover. Before he releases the next song, it's easy for them to move on. But he has built his catalog. He's been releasing music consistently since 2023. They used to release music on the 1st of every month. So you can imagine just how much music he has in back catalog before Escaladizi. And as soon as Escaladizi took off, all the other songs also started taking off. Imagine what his revenue looks like. So yeah, how to turn followers into community. First things first, identify your first core 100 fans. They might not be 100. This is an example. If you've grown to the point where you have 100 fans, good, fantastic. But you don't want to wait till you can identify 100 fans, because 100 fans is a lot of people. You don't think it's a lot because now everybody is doing 5 million streams in 3 days, so it sounds like it's easy. But if you've ever built a community before, you know what it takes to even get 10 people together who believe in what you're doing. So I would say identify your first 10, your core 10 fans. Put them Figure out a way to put them together. Use your micro groups. Use the resources available to you. Feed that 10 people. Those 10 people will grow into 50 people. They will grow into 70 people, 100 people, and so on. Understand their behaviors. What is making these people like your music? What do they do? What do these people have in common? Because in many cases, people who listen to a certain kind of music, they usually have something in common. You know, find that thing that they have in common. You as the artist, you probably also have that thing in common with them. So find that thing that you have in common, understand it, and use that. Use that to create the content that you make for them. Because it's very easy to, not easy, but it makes it easier to make music when you know who you are making the music for. You know what they want to hear. You know what struggles they are currently facing. You know how to sing about the struggles they are facing. You know what to do. Every guy knows that if they sing about heartbreak now, like 1 million people will come and share their stories. You get? So that's how you build your community. Understand their behaviors. Understand what they like, and act accordingly. Like, build your music. Create based on what you know that your fans like. Give them access. We talked about access before, behind the scenes access. Let them know what your process is like. Share your process. Share your struggles. Share your failures. I know that, just like Blessing said earlier, I know that, yes, we all like to have heroes or celebrities or mentors or whatever the case, who we aspire to. You know, the people who we see as celebrities or big figures in society are people who we think are bigger than us, who have something that we don't have, that we want to have, that we aspire to. So, even if you are not fully there yet and you feel like, oh, I'm still struggling, you can create. It doesn't mean that you can't give a level of access. Oh, okay, if I give access now, they will know that I only live in one room. That your one room, take one corner, put white fabric. I'm very serious. Put white fabric. I come from a family of musicians. I have a brother who used to make music. When we recorded and released an album called an EP called Another Angle in 2019. If I tell you how we recorded that album, we recorded the album in the house. The only thing that he could afford to buy brand new was sound card for us to record. The microphone they used to record belonged to one of his friends, who is also an aspirant. So he said, oh yeah, come, bring your microphone. Then I remember, to block out the noise, they had to put their mattress on the window and tie it to the window so that they can block out the noise to record the album. And imagine, behind the window is generator. You get? So they had to but the album was recorded. In fact, the boy that brought the microphone was credited as executive producer. The producer was credited as myself, that I helped them coordinate everything. I was credited as executive producer as well. You know, but you have to make the best use of the resources you have. That is the process. Now, if my brother still wants to do music today, he's in a better position to do that. But the fans who were there, and trust me, the fans he had then outweigh whatever he would have now if he says he should start again, because they believed in the journey. It gave them something to believe in. Oh, JJ recorded this album in his house using mattress as soundproof. I can do it too. It's not until you build, and I'm speaking to emerging artists because Blessing said private jets. You think, oh, I don't have private jets, so that's the end. I'm not going to try. No. You have to make use of what you have. The Bible says the gift of your hand, the gift in your hand. It does not say the gift that I will give to you. It says what you have. This is if you're a Christian. I'm very sure there's something in the Quran that talks about using what you have as well. Give them identity. Like we said, fan club names, wristbands that is exclusive. Maybe you design something that is only exclusive to my super fans. Figure out your super fans. Get it to them. Say, I have this wristband. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. They can be cheap. But people will wear it. Why? Because they want to identify with you. That is what giving them an identity means. Give them exclusives. Maybe you have a song. There's something that Kenwell does on Snapchat. He releases some of his songs on Snapchat. So there are some songs that some of his fans know. There's this particular song called Vice City. I'm very sure that there are some fans that if they catch Kenwell, they will beat him. They will collect his laptop and go and release the song, because he's been teasing that song for. There's a snippet of it available on Snapchat that people use on their videos and stuff, and you see them tagging him. When are you dropping this song? When are you dropping this? That song is nowhere else aside Snapchat. That's an exclusive right there. He can now decide tomorrow that, okay, I'm going to release this song, but I'm not going to put it on Spotify. I'm going to put it on a private platform for only my fans. That's an exclusive. All of these things don't necessarily require a budget. Obviously, you can always streamline or expand. However, if you have a big budget, you can always expand on all of these and do more. But these are things that you can do with very little or nothing. Let them lead others. Yeah, let your fans be your ambassadors. Let your fans represent you. Let your fans be the one telling people, come here, come and listen to. That doesn't mean you will not sell your own market, but when you have fans who believe in you, they will sell your market for you and with you. Can we go to the next slide, please? The fan data advantage. And here I'm also going to be sharing some of the things that you can do and how your ONRPM dashboard, should you, if I don't know if there's any ONRPM user here or anyone who will check out ONRPM after we leave here, but I'm also going to be sharing how your ONRPM dashboard can help you achieve some of these things. So this is, as you can see, these are some of the screenshots from the ONRPM dashboard. You can see top streams, top downloads, top cities, and it's one of the benefits of using the ONRPM dashboard. You're able to have access to analytics and data that tells you exactly where your music is being played, what playlist you're featured on, which playlist you're getting the most engagement from, which regions your fans are located. Even down to how old are the fans that are listening to you. You can find all of these analytics on the ONRPM dashboard. This is something that if you were to use Chartmetric, you would have to pay for. And it's available to you free of charge on the ONRPM dashboard once you sign up. So as an artist, this is a tool that is very, very useful to you. You're also able to see your listener versus follower ratio, your listenership trend. There's a page on the ONRPM dashboard. Unfortunately, I can't do a full demo right now because of time, but there's a page on ONRPM dashboard that's called the Daily Analytics page. And on that page, you're able to see what your music is doing in terms of streams, downloads on a daily basis. You're able to see your streaming pattern. So for some artists, they have a streaming pattern that goes like this, and there's some who it goes like this, and then it dips. So you're able to see, okay, this was the point where it peaked, and this was the point where it dipped. Why was there a peak here? You can trace it back to, okay, what were we doing during this season that brought about this peak? Were we running ads? Were we doing radio? What were we doing that brought about this peak? Oh, now there's been a dip. Did something stop that brought about this dip? And what can we do to get it back up and keep it up? You know, so the ONRPM dashboard provides tools that help you do that. Monthly listener trends, save rates, playlist sort, skip rates. Yeah, your skip rates as well. When you check the data analytics page, you're able to see, okay, just how many people are listening to your music and just how many people are skipping the music. If your skip rate is higher than your stream rates, then that should tell you something. I will not tell you what it should tell you, but it will tell you. Amen. Sorry, I grew up in church. Anyways, YouTube retention, TikTok conversion, down to how many UGCs has your song made on TikTok. You're able to find all of these things on your ONRPM dashboard. What location are most of those UGCs from? You're able to find all of that on your ONRPM dashboard, Daily Analytics page. Next slide, please. So the next slide is just also a continuation of this. We have more screenshots showing, you know, your top playlists, top countries, top streaming platforms that you perform. And this is just an overview page, by the way. There's more detailed analytics when you actually take your time and go through the dashboard. Next slide, please. So commercialization beyond streaming. This is basically how you as an artist can take advantage of your community, your brand, your persona to make actual revenue beyond streaming. As much as streaming is probably the main source of revenue for a lot of artists, it's also not a very reliable source of revenue because we don't even know how much is paid per stream. This is Nigeria. Our CPM is pretty low because of the exchange rates. So it's not necessarily a reliable source of revenue. You can't just wait and not find other means of revenue. You can't rely on streaming revenue alone. So commercialization beyond streaming. And this is very key to your community because, I mean, we have merch, digital exclusive, live shows, fan clubs, brand partnerships. Merch, nobody is buying your merch just for the fun of it, except it's really, really dope, you know. But even at that, there has to be something that attracts them to it, you know. Which in many cases would be someone in your community saying, oh, this, wearing it, and someone saying, oh, that's a nice t-shirt, I like it. And they say, oh, it's merch from an artist. This is the name of the artist, you should check him out. It's also a good revenue source. If you don't have 100 fans, how are you going to sell 100 t-shirts? And I think that another thing with community building, Blessing said something and everybody laughed. She said, your neighbor, your dog, their dog, they should know your music. That's your community. Usually, I think artists don't think of their community as their actual immediate real life community. You think of your community as some fans far away that would just discover your music and just be drawn to you and love you. That's fantastic, but it's a fantasy. Yeah. In many cases, your community starts from your immediate community. When my brother made music, my mom used to make videos dancing to it. Even before TikTok was a thing, my mom would make videos singing his songs, dancing to his songs, posting on our WhatsApp and say, stream my song's music. I would do the same thing. My sister would do the same thing. That's the community. That's your immediate community. It starts from the people that know you, the people that love you, before it goes to strangers. Because you as a stranger, talent is everywhere, you know, and you have to, for a stranger, you have to convince them why they should listen to you over everyone else who's putting out music. But for your family, they don't have a choice. They don't. You know, so you start with your family, you start with your friends, you start with your dog. Yes, your dog. There was one dog, one husky dancing to Kiss Daniel's music on Instagram that was going crazy. That's a dog that was dancing to It's not even a Nigerian dog. A white-ass European something husky dancing to Barnabas. Was probably a Nigerian man in his past life. But yeah, your community starts from your immediate circle, your colleagues, your friends. There's so many people who work at ONRPM who are also musicians. We have a platform on, I think it's Google Chat, that is like non-work, where we discuss non-work stuff. And you see people saying, oh, I just dropped music today. That's your immediate community. And you have to take advantage of the people around you first before you know. If you can't convince the people around you, then you can't convince strangers. Next, digital exclusives. Yeah, basically, it's your community that will buy your merch. It's your community that will care if you have digital exclusives. If an artist that I don't care about tells me they have digital exclusives, I will hiss and keep it moving, because what's my business? Live shows, micro concerts, little intimate stuff. A lot of artists are doing that now, and that's one thing I'm very excited to see. Little stripped down intimate shows where there's 30 people, there's 50 people. They're just singing, expressing themselves. Beautiful stuff. You can sell your tickets for 10K. One artist I will use as an example is Cottrell. Cottrell will be having, I don't know if everybody here knows Cottrell, R&B guy, amazing musician as well. Cottrell will be having the 3rd edition of his Lagos show, his Lagos Courtyard. He has a show he does called the Courtyard. I think 2 years ago when they did that show, there were like 50 people. They sat on a mat. It was very cute. Last year, they had over 300 people in attendance. This year, they've surpassed last year's numbers already. We would know the attendance on the day of the concert, but that's a community that is growing in real time. From 50 to 300, from 300, maybe this year he'll do 500, maybe next year he'll do 1,000. It's your and all of these people are people who genuinely listen to cultural, who are cultural fans, who know every cultural song. Let him sell tickets for 50K, they will buy it. Do you get? And his tickets are not cheap. I think they're like 25 or 30K. They're not 5K tickets. So that's how much some people dropping their hard-earned money in this Tinubu's economy to come to your show. It's only your community that will do it. Fan clubs. Of course, you need people who care about you to be part of your fan club. If they don't care for your music, there's nothing they'll be looking for in your fan club in the first place. Brand partnerships. Brand partnerships rely heavily on the strength of your community, because no brand is coming to do business with you if it doesn't convert for them, if it doesn't make sense for them business-wise. So it's why influencers are getting big deals now. It's why they can charge an arm and a leg to promote your Jarvis. I don't know how much that girl collects to promote music now, but you can see that when she does one video, her minions, they start immediately. Before you know it, 5,000 people have jumped on the sound doing the exact same thing she's doing. Before you know it, the video has 200K UGCs off of one person's video. I've seen it happen like twice. I've seen her start trends with songs like twice or 3 times. I don't even know if those were trends that she was paid for, but I've seen her do it like twice. And you would even see when another big influencer does it, you will see her fans in the comments shouting, Jarvis did it first. It's Jarvis' trend. Jarvis was the one that started it. Do you know that's how strong our community is, and she's an influencer. She's not even an artist. So that's what you need. That's the kind of connection, that's the kind of influence you need. Brands would rely on that strength, that your ability to ask your fans to do something and they'll do it. That's what sells for brands. Other revenue sources, sync, UGC campaigns. UGC campaigns also rely heavily on the strength of your community, because for a UGC campaign, it's usually about the numbers of UGCs that you can generate. And if you're doing UGC campaigns to promote your music, UGC means user-generated content, by the way. If you're using UGC to promote your music, there's only so much that influencer budgets can do for you. If you are relying only on influencer budgets, your campaign will begin and end where your budget begins and ends. But for your campaign to keep going, it now relies heavily on your community. Creator collaborations. Everybody knows that collaborations now are based on how much numbers are everybody doing, because everybody has something to gain from one another. Even you as a small popping artist, before a bigger artist will do something with you, they want to check the motion that you have. Are people talking about you? Okay, does this song have the potential to blow? Fan-funded content. You people see BB Nigeria fans, they buy car for them. I be BB Nigeria housemates, I be their winners. Their fans will come together. You say somebody's birthday, want to buy a house. Me, I'll be in my house saying, in this Tinubu's economy, you people are using your money to buy somebody's house. Wow. But okay, I'm jealous of them, because me too. It's my birthday. Let somebody to gather and contribute money to buy me a house. You get? So like, these are things that your fans will do for you just for the love of BB Nigeria fans. Some of them are not even creative talent. Some of them, we don't even know what their talent is. But you see them every year. Somebody comes out of that show, there's a group of people waiting for them with car, with house. Some is audio, but I think there are even micro influencers now where they pay very small amounts. You hear, with 5K per person, will get you 100 creators. I've even heard as low as 2.5. I don't know the people that are collecting the 2.5, but you see, everywhere, every campaign, for every size that you are, there's a shoe that is your size. For every budget that you have, there's a budget that is there's an influencer that is your size. So what do they say? Cut your coat according to your size, according to your fabric. The rise of micro-influencers. I know for a fact that I have discovered music off of somebody's random TikTok video that wasn't even popular. And I'm like, I like this song. Let me go check it out. Direct-to-fan platforms exploding. Snapchat, Meta. Those are direct-to-fan platforms because the content is coming directly to you. There's no middleman, and that's what's shaping fandom. A lot of people, they have... I see a lot of celebrities do this thing where Snapchat is where they post more personal, one-on-one type content. So their followers on Snapchat see their real self, while the people on Instagram see the more curated stuff. AI-powered audience insights. There's that. I don't like AI very much. I'm still settling. I'm still settling. I'm still settling with the concept of AI, especially now that they are now singing. But yeah, AI-powered audience insights. As a creative, you have to take advantage of technology that's available to you. So do not fight AI like me. Use it to your advantage. Fan cohorts becoming more important than follower counts. Yeah, because if you check, a lot of people, we're all on Instagram, we're all on socials. You can have 10,000 followers, and when you check your engagements, you have 40 comments, 500 likes. Those are your real fans, the 40 comments and the 500 likes. Your 10,000 followers are just that. They might not really care. There are people who follow you just to see you once in a while. They don't really care for what you're doing. They're just there. In fact, with the way the algorithms are now, there are some people who follow you, but they've not seen your posts in 3 months, and you've been posting consistently. So you can't always rely on follower counts. You know, your real numbers would always reflect in the engagements on your post. African artists expanding into diaspora first touring markets. Yeah, actually, because the touring industry in Nigeria needs a lot of work. I can't even say that we have an actual touring industry, but we see a lot of artists where they have one hit song. Before you know it, they've announced their UK tour, they've announced their London tour, they've announced their Germany tour. In fact, there are some artists who are not necessarily mainstream, but they have active touring careers. There's this artist who makes high life music that I know of, not mainstream at all. His name is Graham D. And I checked him out, and he does a lot of Europe tours. There's this guy on Instagram as well. I've forgotten his name, but he does this. Something that's similar to like the authentic Afrobeat high life type music. He has a shrine, something he calls a shrine in Surulere. He does a lot of touring. He does an Europe tour every year, and he's not necessarily mainstream. So those are some of the things driving the global trends. And like I said, I'll be sharing how ONRPM helps you achieve, building your community, helps you execute your release campaigns better. So ONRPM's artist services approach, pre-release planning. Pre-release planning, content calendar plus asset creation, DSP strategy, market segmentation, influencer strategy, paid ads, community touring, monitoring, optimization, scaling, and what successful artists do differently on the platform. I don't think there's any of these things I have said that sound alien to anybody here, but basically one of the things that our ONRPM tool does as well, we have something called the campaign tool feature, where you can basically create campaigns on your ONRPM dashboard. So say you have mapped out what you want to do for your release. You have a 2-month promo calendar. What the campaign tool on ONRPM does for you is basically help you visualize that. So you create the campaign, you put in all the things that you want to do for each day. Okay, so pre-release strategy, generate pre-save link, send out email list, yada yada yada. Down to your to-do list, everything you need to do. That tool helps you plan and keeps you on your toes as to you've done this is done, tick this, done. What's next? So it keeps you on your toes. It reminds you this is the next point of your campaign. As you progress, you are able to also review, okay, this is what we've done. This is where, this is the result. These are the results that we've gotten, and this is how we can adjust our campaign and move forward. So we have a very good campaign tool that helps you plan, visualize, and execute your campaigns. Also keep track of your data in the process. It's very important while you are doing your campaigns, it's very important to review at every point and see what can be done differently. What have you done that has brought about good results? Like I said before, you notice a peak in your streaming pattern. What did you do that brought about that peak? Did you perform somewhere? Did you do a radio campaign? Did somebody tweet about your song that went viral and then people started engaging? You have to find what exactly it is that brought about that peak and how you can maintain that. And it's one of the things that the campaign tool can help you do. And always very important to study what successful artists do differently on the platform. No matter how long you spent in the industry, it's always something to keep learning and relearning. Next, building a release strategy for community growth. Pre-release hype, storytelling. You don't just want to announce, I have a new song coming out next week, go and pre-save. Why do you have a new song coming out? What is the song about? Who is the song for? What are people going to feel when they hear the song? Release day strategy. What's your release day strategy? Are you only going to post out now? How are you engaging your fans? How are you making sure that you're directing people to your new song that is out? 30-day content cycle. Content is king. It's 2025, so we know how important content is in your release promotion, promoting your music, promoting anything at all, even film. You see all the kinds of content that they do. So you need to have a content calendar. And it's not everything that you will be performing your song. It's not everything that you'll be dancing to your song. Some of them would include storytelling. Oh, today we wanted to go and shoot content at Ojuelegba. Police stopped us. That's a story. That's something to post. Today, I was supposed to do something, rain fell. You can share it, It doesn't have to be, everything doesn't have to be all perfect, all thought out, all curated, especially when you are growing. I always say that artists underrate the value of being an emerging artist, because being an emerging artist is when you can make a lot of mistakes and learn from your mistakes and keep it moving and improve. Learn from your mistakes and improve and move and progress generally. Yeah, so syncing offline activities, your pop-ups, your meet and greets, are you linking up with your fans? That's something a lot of emerging artists do often. Yeah, that's something you should consider. Playlist momentums, fan reward cycles, data-driven adjustments. Like I said, review as you move along and adjust accordingly. What labels look for in artist community? 1, signal of sustained engagement. The labels, the people that are interested in working with you, they want to see that community it's not just a fluke. They want to see that it's been on for a good period of time. The people there have stayed and the people there have been engaging. Organic traction. What's the strength of your community? When you post something, what's your engagement like? That's your organic traction. Conversion ability. When you ask your fans to do something, how willing are they to do it? When you say, oh, I have something to sell, will you guys buy? Are they actually willing to buy? Or when you say, oh, you guys, I just dropped a new video on YouTube. Can we get 1,000 views today? Are you going to get the 1,000 views? That's your conversion ability. Repeat consumption. How many fans are continuously listening to your stuff? Or is it just when you drop a new song, they listen, then they disappear? Narrative that fans can echo. I think Blessings mentioned something about this before as well. You want to give them something, and the example she used was the Cardi B story. Every little thing we're reminded that she used to be a stripper, she used to be a stripper. That's the narrative that fans echo. It gave them, Cardi B being a stripper and going on to winning a Grammy gave them something to believe in. It's your typical, a typical example in Nigeria is Zlatan. He calls himself the symbol of hope for a reason. People see how he came from near nothing, and now he's one of the biggest artists in Africa. Signal of sustained engagement, organic traction, conversion ability, repeat consumptions, narrative that fans can echo, early signs of super fans. Thankfully, some of the streaming platforms help you identify your super fans. You see, some of them, when they do the Spotify Wrapped and the Apple Music Wrapped, you see, oh, you were a #1 listener for this artist. You were yada. So you can always do a call out and say, oh, where are my super fans? If you are up to number 5, or if you're a top 5 listener, let me see your screenshots in the comments. Let me see something. And market viability and tourability. Market viability and tourability. Yeah, that's another thing to consider, because we know the struggles that we have with touring locally. And when extending into new markets as well, you want to check how easy it's going to be for you to tour that market. Lona did a tour this year. He did a university tour, and that was fantastic. You want to look to artists like that who have done things like that and take points. If you get a chance to talk to them, ask what went into it. Do your own research. it's not just recording music, because I think the issue is a lot of artists just want to record music. When you are emerging, you don't have the luxury of just recording or just performing music. You have to do research. Even if you have a team, you have to do your own research and learn, find out what makes what work. So that if by any chance you find yourself alone, or the people on your, because we have situations where, okay, this artist changed management and all of a sudden, things changed. Their campaigns were not as strong anymore. Their releases were not as strong anymore because the artist was clueless. He did not know what the team was doing while they were there. So now that they've gone, so you have to do your own research as an artist. You have to equip yourself with as much information as possible. It's very important. And in building your community is the same thing. Learn from people who have grown their communities. Do the tools that you have, go through them. Don't just have access to Chatmetric and go to the one page that you're looking for data on. Go through all the tools on that Chatmetric dashboard. If you have the ONRPM dashboard, look through all the functions and learn what each does and how best to take advantage of them. Thank you very much.